I hope you all had a refreshing break and are ready for our second power pack session. After a tax and compliance challenges and to guide us through this intricate subject, we have with us a highly respected name in the field, CA Ramesh Prabhu. On issue and challenges in self-redevelopment and development with reference to RERA, MCS, income tax and GST. CA रमेश प्रभु जी के लिए मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा कि डेवलपमेंट और रीडेवलपमेंट के लिए कि ये इमारतों का सिर्फ रूप नहीं, सिर्फ इमारतों का रूप ही नहीं बदलते, इनको सुनने से सोच भी बदल जाती है। जब रीडेवलपमेंट में रेरा, एमएसके, आईटी और जीएसटी की उलझने सुलझाई जाती हैं। आज हमारे बीच वो व्यक्तित्व हैं जो इन राहों के सच्चे मार्गदर्शक हैं। सीए रमेश जी प्रभु का स्वागत है। नाउ आई कॉल सीए अंकुर गुप्ता टू गिव ए ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ आवर स्पीकर।
A very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, convener, for giving me this opportunity. और रमेश प्रभु actually doesn't need any introduction. और वैसे भी उन्होंने जो introduction जो उनका प्रोफाइल आया है वो 2-2.5 पेज का है, पढ़ते पढ़ते एक सेशन हो जाएगा। तो मैं एकदम छोटा सा short and sweet एकदम देता हूँ because everyone knows रमेश प्रभु very well. He is been a regular speaker in various dais and of course जेबी नगर में भी कई बार आए हैं वो as a speaker also. So Ramesh Prabhu is a partner in RS Prabhu and Associates. He is a, of course, chartered accountant with over 3 decades of expertise and a CISA DISA qualification. Is a recognized authority in legal and regulatory matters related to RERA, real estate, cooperative societies, and non-profit organization. So with this very short and sweet introduction, I request everyone to please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh Bhai, Jyoti Bhai, Ankush Bhai, Seema Madam, and all the seniors and of course experts. I'm very happy that even after the break, where you had an option to either remain or to go, and you exercised the option to remain, which shows that you are interested to understand the various challenges related to the redevelopment. Redevelopment has become a talk of the talk. There are a lot of redevelopment which is happening. So when I was discussing with Kailash, he said, Mr. Prabhu, redevelopment both over. आप redevelopment को छोड़ दो, taxation के ऊपर, because we are on the taxation season. So we will be interested in understanding the impact of taxation. So there are few developments which have happened in the last 2 to 3 years related to income tax, even the GST. We'll try to analyze that, and of course, other regulatory acts like RERA and MCS, these are also connected. In addition to that, there is a development control and promotion regulations or Maharashtra Redevelopment. We'll try to touch upon that. But what I prefer is to understand the questions from you, because I got only 1 hour to deliberate. So in this 1 hour, I would be very happy if black is the black. So
जब तक आपकी मर्जी हो सर,
yeah,
ये घंटा 2 घंटे
sure, sir. तो बाद में आप बोलेंगे कि
कोई नहीं जाता
हॉल जो है, हॉल 1:15 बजे तक का है.
नहीं एक्सटेंड करेंगे सर.
Okay, thank you very much. So let us get into the subject. Redevelopment. आपको क्या क्या सवाल आता है? सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट एंड redevelopment, especially the 4 subjects that we have: GST, income tax, RERA and MCS. उसके अलावा और कुछ है आप जरूर पूछ सकते हैं. So I will not go ahead with the my presentation. I will share with you. It's self-explanatory. Yeah.
One constant is where always told members, when the society goes into redevelopment, the building is very small and there are so many funds remaining in the society. Say the society is having 50 lakh rupees when it goes for a redevelopment. Now the tower will come up there and new members will come. But the old members say this 50 lakh to hamara tha. So why this benefit should go to the new members who will be coming afterwards? So please explain this.
Okay. Existing fund, how to distribute post redevelopment. Any other question?
Yes, yes. Continuing with the same question, that is extra amount, what is the services the existing policy, but after the construction is complete, because no members will have right on it, or the new members can have it. This is one. And second thing is relating to this one, in case of self-development, when the initial, what I understand is that you cannot take from outside because we have administration. So to was shortfall, how does it like it can take money from outsiders other than members?
Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah. Yeah.
In the existing society, when the new members come, so after redevelopment, the new members are admitted, can the society ask for the contribution towards the existing funds? Suppose ABCD 5 buildings are there. So what have been admitted first? And one building, 2 years the members have not been admitted. Now if you will issue the order, you give first the membership in the society and personal complication will arise later on. So my 2-3 questions are there. One is when the new members are admitted, whether the suppose new members are 200, existing members are including 3 in your society, already 400 members are there. So total will be 600 members. When new members are admitted, the denominator will be already 600 or it is 400. That is question number 1 about the maintenance for the new member. Number 2. Second, when the society asks for repayment sinking funds from the date of purchase of the flat, or the date of possession of the flat, or the date of admission of the member. Second question. Third question, which was the original question, can the society also ask me to contribute in the existing funds which are lying in the society and who the member is admitted? Those who whatever 40 months that in the society, question of maintenance and the big question, the contribution was say 20 and in some of the cases, the builder has taken 2 years advance maintenance. Now the society is not accepting that contribution of focus also. And in case of the existing 3 to 4 society, the builder has admitted the money to the society is by in turn refunded to the members for the 20 lakhs purpose by passing general body resolution. So please write down these both by issue.
Yeah. Deputy Collector.
But also, this one, that's not
Okay. FX is formed. Okay.
BMC and its accountability.
Okay, a role of PMC. Okay. Dusra, I think, yeah.
My question is more in respect to taxation.
Huh.
When we look at some lack of redevelopment. So there are two options. One is that do we have to offer as a 45(5)(a) of the Income Tax Act where we offer the value of the redeveloped flat as the statutory electoral rate as on the date of OC, or can it take the date as on the date of PAAA? Because there will be a difference in the valuation as of PAAA. The PAAA is executed usually after DA or subsequent to the DA very soon. And also one more question was, suppose in a particular society, can the developer offer different areas to the members in terms of the settlement areas? Like the mother is offered 100%, the son is offered 75%, and the son could be offered 75%. So can the areas vary in terms of redevelopment?
Then I have not got your question.
No, when the developer takes the building for redevelopment, can he offer different areas to different members? Extra area that has been offered.
Extra area for the cost.
Extra area on redevelopment. So he's having 1,000 square feet. Yeah, free of cost. Free of cost.
You mean there will be discrimination?
Discrimination.
So one person is giving 30%, the other person is giving 50%, there is giving 60%. Can there be a discrimination?
Can there be a difference in the area which should be offered free of cost? When we have to the members.
Different area free of cost.
Same area taken.
Yeah, so somebody could be having a flat on the first floor, somebody could be having a flat on the ground floor. So what if the developer negotiates terms differently? Some may be settling, some may not be settling. So
If there are a different area for a different, bargaining. For example, I will give you an example. The question is raising is a valid question. Suppose I have got a shop on the ground floor. Okay. And he has offered me 30% for the shop. But right now, because of the land parcel, he is not able to give me 30% at all. What he is saying, today you have got 200 square feet, I will give 150 square feet on the ground floor. Whatever 200 plus 30%, I will give you on the upper floor. Now I am not on the upper floor, I am not giving you 30%, now I will give you 50%. Because now I am changing my location from ground floor to first floor. So therefore there is a discrimination. Those who are on the ground floor continue to be in the ground floor, he will offer 30%, but who opts for the first floor, he will give 50%. This type of discrimination negotiation possible.
no, there could also be a situation where there could be discrimination among the members in the same building. Maybe some members will not be settling. So
Dispute. In other words, there can be dispute. We'll see. I got your point. Any other question?
If the redevelopment flat is sold, then what is the taxation for capital gain? How the capital gain is to be taxed?
When it is done sales within 1 year to be.
Immediately after the composition. So,
Even
one more
2 years.
question. For commercial property also.
Sir,
Yeah.
so as per the DCPR or some municipal regulations, the society is entitled to 35% free additional area.
Correct.
However, the builder is giving on paper 35%, but actually 18%. The balance is something which we have to settle in cash. And how do you deal with it? Or is there any mechanism to avoid it? Or is there any solution to it?
Okay.
In case of society development, when society transfer, society gets, for transfer of FSI from the builder, what is the position of that corpus amount in taxability? And secondly, other than society, normal cases, when the flat buyers get corpus amount, what is the taxability of that amount? And secondly, about this Bombay High Court judgment on TDS, that no TDS is required to be, that's surplus furniture wala, no TDS is required. What about 194 IC TDS also?
In case of Pagadi shop, it was in the name of father. Father has already expired. He has got three sons, and the proceeds were distributed amongst three sons. So how the taxation could be done, and can we take any cost for the Pagadi flats?
So, you will say
Tenant shop.
tenant shop,
Yeah,
okay,
landlord is there,
okay.
and other was the tenant.
Okay. Now this is getting reconstructed, redeveloped.
Yeah, it is redeveloped and
So your question is about taxation.
yeah, taxation.
What will be the tax implication?
What would be? And how the it was in the name of father. Father has already expired, and the proceeds were distributed among three sons.
Okay. As a proceeds are now it is sold also.
It is sold.
Acha.
It is sold within 2 years. What? Well, long term, sorry, long term. After. And they get any exemption benefit.
Okay.
Legal.
Because in that building, father was staying there alone. His son was staying in Khada, and the building is carry on. So,
एक मिनट तो जिसके पास माइक है
you please, might होने के बाद तो दे दो please.
There is a building in Gideon, and father was staying there alone, and son was staying in Thane. So whether son is entitled for creating the new construction or redevelopment.
Naturally you should get, there should not be a problem.
No, it's not.
Is in occupation, no?
No, he's not in occupation. Father was in occupation. That's fine.
Acha, he has expired.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has already purchased another place.
He was having another place when his father was there.
Okay, okay.
And secondly, taxability of rent
Okay.
was redevelopment.
Rent.
Yeah.
हाँ, उसका क्या है आपका सवाल?
Taxable or tax.
Okay. Rent is whether taxable. Okay. One minute.
So, one question GST.
Ah.
There are a lot of fees which is a developer pays to the government authority. Let it be a PMC or for RERA authority or SRA or MHADA where FSI DEM is paid. Whether RCM all this kind of payment is applicable, that's one. Two, in RERA extension, now for the extension of RERA, of course, the portal has been changed. So complete data, what was the earlier field in the previous portal, that gets automatically migrated or, what are the process behind that? Okay. And third, what is the role of SR? Is it mandatory for the, all proceedings in the RERA updations?
Yeah. Okay. Roll up SR.
What is that single freehold land? Where the buyer prospective buyer wants to purchase for SRA land or Mahana land? Which one is better and what is the pros and cons of these three types of development? So for buying the land, buyer should understand what is the Mahana redevelopment, what is the SRA redevelopment, as well as the freehold land development. So which one? Because choosing this, if the builder misguide him or not, that should be clarified.
So just 2-3 questions. One, is there any capital gain exclusion if the builder has agreed or he has committed that he will measure the project in 3.5 years, while he is taking 5 years or anything else. So this amount, any capital gain is figure only numbers. Second thing is, if inadvertently the society has not informed the tender document, the commercial area in the society. So for example, in the residential society, there is a nursing home, but society did not inform in the tender. So is there any recourse when the builder is saying they will not allocate any tender, any commercial area because it is not mentioned in the tender? And the last thing is, if as per the tender, the builder or the selected developer is supposed to give you 1 crore deposit, the society, they end up giving 25 lakhs. Is it a disqualification whereby you can remove the development?
Okay.
But the possession after 3 years, if they suppose.
1 minute, just give them.
Possession after 3 years. One can understand if the builder had promised within 3 years and there is a delay, there are a number of judgments which say the exemption should not be denied. But in the agreement itself, if suppose it is mentioned that possession will be after 4 years, then what will be the possession? And one more question, sir, about society. Who is the owner of the society? Whether members, society is the owner, whether the land and premises, or the members are the owners of the land and premises.
I think we should, after redevelopment, when we get a new getting destination, so it is the return of income as capital gain. And once we get budget after 3 years, okay, is it continuation or reactivation? Well, we get the budget after 3 years, there will be the implication on long-term capital gain.
Okay, that question has come.
Hello, sir, suppose one person gets a commercial unit in I mean alternate accommodation for commercial as commercial. Will there be any taxation?
Okay. So his question is, I'm getting a shop against shop.
Yeah.
If I get a flat against flat, yes, section 54 is there, or again the tenancy I'm getting a shop, 54 F is there. But what about shop against shop, commercial against commercial? What will be the tax implication? Okay, commercial against commercial. Okay.
So continuing with this similar question, in case of a member who has a residential flat and he gets a commercial place, so generally against residential we take a benefit under section 54. But against when I'm getting a commercial premise, can I invest in any other flat to take benefit of section 54?
So what you are doing is you are taking a commercial, then that commercial you are selling, and then you are going
No,
to.
this is a residential. The builder is giving me a commercial place. Now, generally, had it been residential, would have qualified under section 54.
Correct.
Now, in order to save the capital gain tax, I invest in any other residential flat under section 54. Will that be allowed?
How you will invest? See,
I'll buy another flat. I'll buy one more.
you will buy one more from your one.
They have proceeds.
That means what he is saying is, I got a residential, and against that I am taking a commercial. But the money which I would have invested in that commercial, now I got as a partner over there, and then I am going to invest in another flat, which of course out of my own money.
Yeah, so that will be eligible for now. Okay, section 54.
Right. Okay, I think right now it's enough. जोड़ का प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, but next time ये प्रोफेसर से सवाल लेंगे, लेक्चर देते नहीं है, है ना? वो नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, very quickly, हालांकि 80 स्लाइड है, but what I do is जो सवाल आए, whatever questions I have received, I try to map them along with my presentation. That is how I think I should go ahead. एक किस तरह से
अटका हुआ है। Okay. So the topic is, if you have gone through the topic, it's redevelopment impact, MCS Act, rules, GR, RERA, income tax and GST. So the first question comes in your mind is, redevelopment, whether it's a business of the society. N number of judgments of the Honorable High Court says it is not the business of the society. No doubt in the year 2019, when the new act came in, they included in the definition. In the definition of a housing society, they said housing society is where people will develop the property, allot the flat, or where the builder is selling, they register for the purpose of common area and include the redevelopment. So the definition is there. That's the definition of housing society. But again, that cannot be called as the objectives of the housing society, purpose of the housing society. So therefore, Honorable High Court has said that the redevelopment is not the regular business of the society.
This was the objection based in Mahinder Kaur case. Now, bylaw also has been amended.
Correct.
New bylaws have made a provision that redevelopment will also be part of the objects of the, because bylaws give the objectives. And it does not give any objectives. They will give definition, but not the objects of the society. So it becomes intra-virus rather than ultra-virus. That's one part. Second part, in the bylaw also there is one more bylaw at the end saying that redevelopment also can be part of the society and remains saying that this.
But having said all that, I'm again saying that it is not a regular business of the society. It may be a business of the society, but it is not a regular business of the society. And therefore, any dispute related to the redevelopment under the MCS Act, will it go to the Cooperative Societies Act? Under the Cooperative Code, will it go to the registrar, or it will go to the High Court? The answer given by you can take the mic, yeah.
Mohinder Kaur says High Court. Mohinder Kaur says
So that
it does not fall into 91 of the disputes.
any number of the judgments of the Bombay High Court says a dispute related to the redevelopment of a housing society goes to Honorable High Court. Not even city civil court, not even any court. The next question arises. There is something called arbitration clause. In the agreement, not most of the development agreement, if you see, there is an arbitration clause. If there is an arbitration clause, will the member of the society are governed under the Arbitration Act? The answer given are, conflicting. Some judgment says because they are not party to the development agreement, therefore no. Some judgment says no, they are the member of the society. Once the member, he is a member of the society, he submits all his rights and he reserves the right to the society, and therefore whether he has signed the development agreement or does not sign the agreement, still he is bound by the arbitration. But yes, whenever there is an arbitration clause, naturally one can go under the arbitration, get the arbitrator appointed, and then get the dispute resolved. I think, and the next question arises.
This one for the housing society has to be done.
Correct.
Right? The same thing is applicable to any agreed member?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Either way, आप member जाओ या society जाओ, either way, the jurisdiction is of the High Court. Yeah.
In most of the cases, nowadays, development agreement is signed by most of the members, all the members. So they are also part of the development agreement. And of course, agreement also goes in each member is placed into it. And it is part of the development agreement.
You are able to step back.
It becomes relevant when there is a dissenting member. Whether the dissenting member is governed by that arbitration clause or not, that is what he is saying.
सवाल ये है whether they are signing the development agreement or they are not signing the development agreement. फिर भी वो member of the society तो है. एक बार वो member of the society है, जल्दबाजी में कोई निर्णय लिया है, That means they are governed under the Arbitration Act because they are exercising their rights through the society. I think थोड़ा मोटा मोटा आपको समझ में आया होगा कि अगला सवाल मैडम का है या मेरा है क्या a member of the society can take a dispute in the redevelopment to the Consumer Protection Act, under the Consumer Protection Act, whether this is feasible. Can dispute against the builder, against the society? I don't want to go to Supreme Court because that is not the judicial. ठीक समझ गया मुझे हाईकोर्ट में जाना नहीं है तो बहुत सारा खर्चा भी होता है I don't know how to represent but consumer court is most important and easier for me. Can I exercise the jurisdiction of a consumer court? कितना लोगों को लगता है yes?
When there is a deficiency of service, you can. Otherwise, what about RERA? Can you go to the next? Yes.
That I will come. Right now I am on the MCS Act. So Consumer Protection Act is an alternative remedy. It is in addition to the existing remedy. It is a consumer welfare legislation, and therefore there are a number of Supreme Court judgment as well as the National Commission judgment, which says that the society and its member, try to understand, society and its member, they have got a relationship of providing services. The society is a service provider and the member is a service receiver. So he is also paying the maintenance. Therefore, there is a relation. So therefore, any dispute related to the dispute between a member and the society can go to the consumer court. Now, in the redevelopment, again, you was asking about the deficiency of service. The answer is yes. The contractor or the developer whom you are appointing is also giving a construction service, and therefore one can go to the consumer court also. So, of course, you need to establish that there is a deficiency of service, and of course, construction activity is a service activity, and therefore one can go to the consumer court against the developer for giving necessarily the not paying the rent, not paying the required amenities, or against the society if there is a discrimination, we are not comfortable, so you can knock the door of the consumer court. I think till now this is fine. So the next question arises under this is that there is a certain guideline under the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act in order to develop a redevelopment and to appoint a contractor or a developer, you need to follow certain procedure, and that procedure is given in the form of directions. Under section 79 of the MCS Act, Maharashtra Cooperative Society Act, there is section 79, which says that the government, if they are satisfied that in order to manage and maintain properly the process of any activities or one society or a class of societies, they can issue a direction. The government is empowered to give the direction. They are given a number of directions, which also have been confirmed by the Honorable Supreme Court. Just to give you one example, non-occupancy charges. You cannot charge more than 10% of the service charges, which was initially 1 time of the maintenance. You cannot charge more than 1 time of the maintenance, but later on, in the year 2001, the government came into the direction that you cannot charge more than 10% of the service charges. We as an association representing Maharashtra Society Welfare, we Honorable High Court, we got the stay. But later on, the state was secretariat and they said nothing to it. It is confirmed 10%. You are not giving any extra service. But yes, we are giving you 10% what government has agreed upon. So you cannot charge more than 10%. They have said it's a mandatory. And we took it to the Honorable Supreme Court, saying that no, earlier it was 1 time, at least they are making money out of it. And at least 10% of the rent may be given to us. But ultimately, Supreme Court said nothing to it. This is the direction of the government. Under section 79A, they have the power to issue this guideline or direction, and therefore they have confirmed it. Now the next question arises. Similar direction has been issued by the government for the purpose of redevelopment. Are you with me? That is called direction under section 79 of the MCS. Now the question to you and me is this direction mandatory or a directive? Is it mandatory and directive? What is the difference between directive and mandatory? Directive means guideline. Direction means it is expected. may be done like this, or it is expected to be done like this. So it is more of a guidelines, okay? But mandatory means something which has to be done like a shall. Directive is like a maybe, and direction is shall. So therefore, 10% of the service charges cannot be charged. More than 10% cannot be charged is shall. The society shall charge not more than 10% of the service charges and on-bill charges, which has been held as upheld by the Honorable Supreme Court. Whereas this is again a direction given by the government for the purpose of redevelopment. Now I want to understand from you, if one direction was considered to be mandatory, whether this has been considered as a mandatory or directive. Can anybody give the input? I'll take you. Because they will say, अभी आपका और हमारा debate होगा. That is mandatory for the purpose of non-objection. मैं तो redevelopment के direction बोल.
It is not. I think directives or guidelines.
Okay. It is not mandatory. Anybody else?
It's mandatory.
Huh?
It's
It
mandatory.
is mandatory. How many of you think it is mandatory? It's a power of the government to issue the direction. They have issued section 79 ये ऑफर है. उन्होंने guidelines दिए और direction दिए. You think it's mandatory, mandatory? Okay, fine. How many of you think it is a directive or a guideline? Yes, there are majority. Okay. So honorable High Court has said not in one, in number of judgments, saying that it is a direction. Now the question arises, it is a direction. Why they are saying it is direction or a guideline? The reason is, it's entirely process. It's a process matter. It is not absolute. Something which is absolute. 10% of service charge is an absolute figure. No subjectivity. Are you with me?
Yes.
There is no subjectivity. When you talk about guideline or the procedure always have certain subjectivity. Procedure has certain guidelines which may be met, may not be met. And one cannot make a procedure in such a watertight compartment pattern. For example, it is said that the moment you give a 20% members give an application to do the redevelopment, the society shall call a managing committee meeting within 8 days. अभी 8 दिन में नहीं बुला, हो सकता है 15 दिन में बुला. You think the process that got to the task? No. They were expected. Now the timeline is expected to be 8 days, but they are running 15 days. Secondly, they have to supposed to have a general body meeting within what days? Within 2 months, as per the direction. No, they are not doing within 2 months. They are going to have it in 4 months. Are you doing? In the first general body, there were 3 agendas. The first agenda is to decide whether to do the redevelopment or not. Second is to appoint the PLC. Third is to decide about the timeline for redevelopment. Now they have put all 3 agenda, but the first agenda they have decided to go for redevelopment. But second agenda PLC they are not appointing. They are saying managing committee is authorized, or they will say one more general body will be taken to appoint a PLC. So can we say that they are not for the direction? The answer is no. The last and most important, which is equally important, in the directions or the guidelines which they have given, there is no consequential action. Suppose उन्होंने ये नहीं किया, in that direction itself there was no consequential action. What will happen to the committee? What will be happening to the application? What will happen? Now in the section 76 of the MCS Act, if you see, 76 is related to general body. 20% of members can make an application to the society to call it general body. And within 1 month, the society has to call the general body. It is a statute. And if they don't call, then the members can go to the registrar, and the registrar will appoint his own officer to complete the general body, special general body. That means there is a consequential action which is being prescribed. But here in this direction, as per the Honorable High Court, there is no consequential action which has been prescribed. And therefore, this has been called as a direction. With this, I am stopping so that we will proceed further. Also, is someone related to the MCS Act? Anybody has got the direction? So it is a mandatory, it is not a mandatory, it is a direction. However, the question again remains, should we put this direction in the block and cupboard? Should we not follow at all? The answer is no. You have to follow substantial compliance. जिसको हम बोलते हैं substantial compliance. कम से कम 50 लाख तक का compliance तो करो. जिस direction में बोला है उस तरह से काम करो. That becomes good. So the agenda as quickly as possible. Concept of redevelopment, advances, feasibility report, direction, role of PMC. A question came in. Section 79A, prerequisites, self-redevelopment, funding options, government initiative and impact, income tax, stakeholder opportunity. Redevelopment क्या है? I don't have to explain. The concept of redevelopment as very importantly, why I am saying this, हमारा subsequent slides, whether it is income tax, GST, everywhere it will come. The existing building gets demolished, new building gets constructed by not only using the FSI available, but again the new TDR and fungible FSI, and handing over new flat to the existing members, and balance will be shown in the open market, and by that builder earns the money. कितना तो समझ में आया? So this is all about redevelopment. Redevelopment can be, so whatever we in the red will give you some impact about redevelopment. Now let us come to the redevelopment. There are two ways of doing redevelopment. One is the society can appoint a contractor, developer, and the second one is they can themselves do it. So when we do it under the joint development, question arises whether society, if I am doing under the joint development, whether the society also is a promoter or is only the developer who can be called as a promoter, and when the society themselves do, naturally they become a promoter. In RERA, there is a definition called promoter. ये तो सबको मालूम है. Promoter is a person who construct, causes construction and then develop the building for the purpose of sale. So, promoter is a person who construct, causes construction and includes the assignment. Any person includes the society. यदि self development करता है, खुद develop करता है, तो it's a promoter. कोई शक तो नहीं है. Now the second question arises. If I am doing a joint development, society is jointly appointing a developer and a commercial transaction is entered into. So if the commercial transaction is entered into between both of them and we enter in a joint development agreement or a development agreement, whatever the agreement that you form, and the society gives the registered property to the developer, whether a society can be considered as a partner in the development, can we consider the society as a promoter? Yes or no?
Yes.
कितने लोगों को लगता है कि society is a promoter in the redevelopment? देखो, बराबर है. Promoter, the word co-promoter was coined by the RERA. Okay. And जब RERA ने coin किया मई 2017 को कि society becomes a co-promoter, metro statement of the Honorable High Court, and the Honorable High Court said, who is RERA defined? Co-promoter. कायदे में एक है co-promoter नहीं है. When कायदे में co-promoter नहीं है, how can Maharashtra RERA define co-promoter? So therefore, RERA gave an undertaking to the court. We have withdrawn that circular saying society as a co-promoter will withdraw. But what they did, promoter landowner, bracket में डाल दो. Promoter contractor, promoter developer, promoter financer, promoter ऐसा करके promoter investor. मतलब word promoter रख दिया, but in bracket landowner. So therefore, society being a landowner, whereas all the construction becomes a promoter under that thing. Co-promoter अपनी बात करेंगे, promoter landowner. आगे भी अभी सवाल आता है, because now I am shifting here and there. ये है ना इधर उधर डाल रहा हूँ. RERA में, if the society is a promoter, whether and we have appointed a developer, developer is supposed to construct, develop, sell, and construct certain area to us, give us free of cost, and also he is supposed to give us a rent, corpus, everything. Barabar na? Now, builder pays to perform. Builder pays to perform. And because he has failed to perform, what I do? I terminate. As a society, I terminate the developer. Okay. Now, having terminated the developer, next question arises, and the developer has raised about 100 crores from various purchasers, and the bidding is not completed. He has siphoned that 100 crore, and society is not having its own plan. Neither they have a rent, nor they have a purpose. Building is just demolished. Now, 100 crore which has been raised by the promoter on that project, whether society is liable to pay that or not to pay. मेरा सवाल सिंपल है, डेवलपर को अपॉइंट किया, डेवलपर ने परफॉर्म नहीं किया, उससे हमारा भाड़ा नहीं दिया, रेंट नहीं दिया, बिल्डिंग को कमिटमेंट लेके आया, रेरा में रजिस्टर किया और बिल्डिंग अधूरा किया, और उसके बाद 100 करोड़ पब्लिक से लिया, एग्रीमेंट भी किया, रजिस्टर किया, और उसके बाद वो जेल के अंदर गया, क्योंकि उसने साइकिल नहीं किया, फ्रॉड किया, XYZ बैंक के साथ. Now he is not able to perform everything, so society has terminated. Now, having terminated the development agreement, the very important question is whether the society is liable to pay that 100 crore under RERA to the, whether the society is liable. Society ने एक रुपया नहीं लिया. Society has terminated the developer. Now the question is whether that society is liable to pay that 100 crore or whether the society is liable to provide those 50 people who have booked the apartment. Because everybody has paid 2 crores. क्या लगता है आपको? Okay, society has allowed the developer to. Society will be liable. कितने लोगों को लगता है society should be liable? उन्होंने एक रुपया नहीं लिया. डेवलपर को परमिट किया. Okay. किसको लगता है कि नहीं है? Okay, मेजॉरिटी आर लोग. दो एक तो हाथ ऊपर करिए. एक्सेप्शन नहीं है. Okay, I think you all enthusiastically raised the hand, but let me tell you, society is liable. Now, why it is liable and how it is liable? ये तो सवाल आएगा. बिल्कुल आराम से. They are partners in the development. Now the matter had gone, a classic case, I'll just cite that case number, you can Google it and find out, or if required, I'll share it with the convener, he can put it in the. The name of the society is Goregaon Pearl Cooperative Society. The name of the society is Goregaon Pearl Cooperative Society, which is in Goregaon. It's a Mara development where there were existing 60 flats and 72 new flats were to be constructed, totally 132 flats. Builder constructed B-wing, only RCC structure, A-wing he did not construct at all. And then, after 10 years of Supreme litigation, consent on this, that, he was terminated. The Honorable High Court confirmed, even the arbitrator also confirmed that case termination. After termination also went to High Court, from High Court it went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court also has confirmed the termination. So therefore, there is no reason for developer to do anything else. Second round of litigation with the same society, the purchasers went to RERA, represented by me. The RERA gave dicey answer, saying that the society should meet the purchasers and they should meet, discuss, understand, and find out the legal. Based on that, which indirectly the RERA chairman at that time, Gautam Chatterjee said, you are liable. But it was not acceptable to the society. Society went to Honorable High Court, sorry, Appellate Tribunal. Appellate Tribunal of course, gave in the name of society. Then the purchaser went to High Court. High Court confirmed in the name of society, saying that society is not liable. What you are saying is right. Honorable High Court said society is not a promoter. They do not have any obligation for the purchasers. So therefore, nothing. The matter went to Honorable Supreme Court. The purchaser took it to the Honorable Supreme Court. And the Honorable Supreme Court also confirmed the High Court judgment, saying that purchaser do not get any rights. That second round of litigation, then matter the Honorable High Court, Supreme Court, purchaser said, sir, give us one liberty. They said, what liberty? Give us a liberty that we may be appearing before the arbitrator. Because arbitrator is also not entering us as a purchaser, he says bidder. The litigation is against the builder, so you are getting rights to the builder. So therefore, I am not entertaining you. At least you have the liberty to go to the arbitrator. Supreme Court ने बोल दिया, if the arbitrator thinks it fit, okay, and your counsel advises you, you may approach arbitrator. हालांकि पहले गए थे उन्होंने रिजेक्ट किया, फिर भी इन्होंने बोला कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट को प्लीज गिव अस ए लिबर्टी. So these people went to the arbitrator. Arbitrator ने बोला कि ठीक है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोल दिया कि लिबर्टी दे दिया, so let me admit that. So he admitted the purchaser as one of the parties respondent. Ultimately, arbitrator ने क्या किया? All the claims were dismissed, saying that society is the owner of the land and you do not get any right. तो इसके लिए आपका जो भी क्लेम है बिल्डर के साथ करो. मतलब सुना कि आपकी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला तो इसको रिजेक्ट करो. So that means कितना राउंड हो गया? Some of the purchaser went to city civil court. सुन लो मैटर. सिटी सिविल कोर्ट में जाके बोला कि हमारा फ्लैट हमारा नाम से रजिस्टर्ड है. How can the existing society terminate our registered agreement by way of a resolution or arbitrary, and without consent they cannot occupy, neither they can sell it outside. So High Court city civil ने stay दे दी. So yes, there is a registered agreement, and though bidder का termination वगैरह is in question mark, and therefore there has to be stay. City civil ने stay दे दिया, the matter went to High Court. Again, when the society is involved, कितना litigation हुआ देखो. Society went to High Court. High Court said, who is this city civil court to give a stay? So stay request किया, बोला कि builder is terminated, so therefore city civil has no business to do interfere. ये हो गया 3 round. 4th round of litigation, which is alarming. Some of the allottees like Sanjit Grover and one more person went to National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, NCRDC, and they included the society as a party along with the bidder, of course. And they simply National Commission asked 2 questions: whether society had entered into a development agreement. They said yes. Whether it's a registered agreement, yes. Have you given a power of attorney? Yes. The National Commission said, because you have appointed him as a developer during the subsistence of the development agreement, because there was a power of attorney, he has acted on your behalf. The society is a principal and the developer is an agent. And therefore, under this agency law, during the subsistence of the agency contract, you cannot say that I am not accountable and responsible for the actions done by the agent. This is wrong. The कलेश भाई के जैसे वकील है, उन्होंने बोल दिया भाई हमारा डेवलपमेंट एग्रीमेंट है. नेशनल कमीशन को हमारा डेवलपमेंट एग्रीमेंट देखो. What is to be seen in the development agreement? They said, look at the clause number so and so. It says the developer is entitled to sell his area, appropriate the sale proceeds, and it is principal to principal. There is no agency contract, and therefore society will not be held responsible. Second clause में बोला, if the builder has created a third party right, it will be the whole and responsibility of the whole. Whether builder and the society will not be responsible. Yes, those clause, National Commission of very good. They analyzed both the clause. They said, how can there be a one agreement? On the one side, you are giving him to sell. On the other side, you are saying you are not taking responsibility. How can there be a contrary clause in the same development agreement? And therefore, the National Commission said the second clause, which is saying to principal, अब इधर से contract करते हो और उसके बाद बोलते हो मेरा जमानत नहीं है. Nothing doing, it's wide an issue. And that particular clause was struck off, saying that it is wide an issue under section 24 of the Contract Act, and the court has some of the clauses which are contrary to the provisions of the act can be struck off. The National Commission struck off and said, जो 1.5 करोड़ रुपए उन्होंने दिया है, जो उन्होंने 9% का इंटरेस्ट के साथ 3 महीने के अंदर पूरा का पूरा पैसा किसको देना है? सोसाइटी को देना है. So National Commission passed this order. Well, now you know 3 rounds of litigation, 1 up to Supreme Court, 2 rounds of litigation up to High Court. The society has won. Appellate tribunal, RERA, सब जगह पे हो गया. Now they went to Supreme Court. Now when the second round came before the Supreme Court, all these have been captured in the order, in the National Commission order. And Supreme Court said, matter is little dicey. And Supreme Court judge across the bar, they said, advise the society, please settle with the purchaser. The RERA, whatever order was passed, in the similar line, they said, go and settle with the matter with the purchaser. Otherwise, it may be little difficult for you and it will tilt towards the purchaser. It's not clear cut instruction. And come back after 15 days. Whatever is the outcome. If you are not able to settle, you are right to settle. So after 15 days, this court society went back to the Supreme Court, said we are not in a position to settle with the purchaser and we do not own any liability of the purchase. Supreme Court was like, okay, now we are confirming the National Commission judgment. The Supreme Court has confirmed the National Commission judgment and said that now you pay. Or now what happened is 72 purchasers, 2 purchasers gave order mila, remaining 70 people have formed an association of allottees and they have now moved directly to the National Commission. 100% is a covered matter. They will get the judgment and naturally they will also go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court will also say that they will not go back to their own judgment. So therefore, this way, the society becomes jointly and severally responsible in the case of joint development. So therefore, when people are asking me, should I go for self-development or should I go for joint development? If I'm saying, if you think that you don't want to get exposed to the liability which the developer will create, then go for self-development. Not because you are getting extra area, not because you are greedy about the corpus rent and other things, just because you don't want to get exposed to the highest liability that the developer could create. I'm not saying that every developer does like that. At least 25% developers are becoming a defaulter nowadays. 75% developers are good and they are performing. But 25%, our 25% के हिस्से में नहीं आना चाहिए. Are you with me? It is not 1%, 2% default ratio. It is more than 25% default ratio. Now you may ask, sir, on what ground you are saying this? We are saying everything based on the data. Go to the 40,000 RERA projects are registered. Out of that 40,000, 10,000 projects are strong. Out of 30,000 also there are the what we call the completion dates are delayed. But leave that aside. What is important is it is not the completion date which is getting delayed. Of 30,000 projects, hardly 20,000 project, 10,000 project शायद टाइम में हुआ होगा, 20,000 project delay हुआ. Leave that aside. But 25% projects are such which are stopped. So therefore, one has to be very careful when you are going for this one. And as far as self-development is concerned, the government has come out with the various directions on 13th September 2019, and now new, policies around 4,000 pages, 400 pages report has been submitted. I am sure Maharashtra government before the municipal election are going to announce some of the freebies for the purpose of self-development. What are the freebies for self-development? One is 4% interest subsidy, which is a boost. Second is 10% extra carpet area for the existing members. Third is 10% concession in the premium. All these are doable. Of course, GST of the state GST will be refunded. So monetary consideration, so when you look at the redevelopment, there can be a combination of these two, monetary as well as area. As far as society is concerned, it's a combination of both, because you get a monetary in terms of rent, you get revenue sharing in terms of purpose, area sharing in terms of additional area. Are you with me? So this way, it's a combination of this. Development अलग-अलग type का होता है. We are not getting into all that. Now you may ask why you are saying all these different types of development. It all is prescribed within your development control and promotion regulations. If it is a tenanted building, separates FSI area, and if it is a private society, different, MANA society different, collector land different, mill land different. So different types of land, SRA is different. Depending on the land title and the planning authority, the FSI changes, area changes, and the potential of construction changes. Are you with me? So this way, now I would suggest now Mara has come out, or the Supreme Court has confirmed one thing, that if you have got a big land parcel and society decides that we want to get it done through MADA, government. And MADA, how they do? MADA appoints a construction and development agency. MADA themselves, they don't do it. MADA appoints a construction and development agency like Rustomji, Adani. See, Motilal Nagar at Goregaon, 142 acres. MADA appointed Adani as a construction development agency. Yeah, and some places in South Mumbai, they appointed, this one, Shakurji Palaji. Now one more in JTV Nagar, there is a private society. JTV Nagar is a private society, and there the society approached the MADA appointed Rustomji as a construction development agency. If that can be done, so you have a lot of leverage. So if it's a parcel of more than 10 acres or maybe 8 to 10 acres, I think you should think of going to MADA so that you get extraordinary FSI. Extraordinary FSI. कई बार MADA redevelopment does FSI directly. So one has to look at that. Yes, steps for redevelopment and professionals. Yes, some steps where prerequisite documents decision by the owners, by majority you have to take up. Feasibility report, evaluation report, tender for redevelopment, developer contract appointment, monitor till OC and position. So these are some of the activities where in each of the activities you will have the professions. Title verification के लिए advocate मिलेगा, appointment of PNC, contractor. So these are some of the activities which the professionals can do. I am not getting into it. Prerequisite for redevelopment, you need to have a housing society, leave conveyance or conveyance, become a member, take the search report, line of action. Yes, sections 79A gives us some of the steps which you can go through. Here, I'll just tell you one minute. Yeah. Okay. Section 79A direction. Society decided in AGM with more than 51% members applicable to all types of redevelopment, self-redevelopment also. Decisions of the Act, rules and bylaws are applicable. Society need to have a redevelopment web portal. Because our lead society is not having a portal, we formed a federation of redevelopment under the leadership of Gautam Chatterjee, who was the RERA chairman earlier. And now there is a Gra Harmony Redevelopment Stakeholder Federation where all the stakeholders have come together. Societies free of cost can become a member there on the portal, and free of cost you can have a monitoring of the project, you can select the developer, so many things can happen. Because under section 79A, we saw that portal is required to be done, but societies are not doing the portal. So therefore, we have created that portal. Authorized officer or the administrator not authorized to do the redevelopment. AGM to be called by minimum 20% members, more than 20%. 2/3 quorum is required. Now I'll give you one example, classic example. One of the societies, what happened was they called a general body meeting for the purpose of carrying out major impact. The agenda is 1 point agenda to discuss and decide about the major repairs as per the structural audit report. This is one agenda. 158 members society. Around 52 members appeared in the general body. And in the general body it was written, special body, if there is no quorum, it will be adjourned for half an hour and the decision will be taken and it will be binding on the members. What was the decision taken in the general body? General body decision was that repair is not possible, we cannot contribute and building is old and therefore we better go for redevelopment. And resolution was resolved that the society shall undertake redevelopment with the consent of 70% of members in writing. One of the person who did not attend the general body, he challenged it in the cooperative court, said resolution is illegal. The agenda was for repairs and they have decided on redevelopment and therefore it should be set aside. Cooperative court said nothing doing because there is a proper agenda, everything, and the members present have unanimously decided for redevelopment and they have not gone for redevelopment. What they have said is repair is not possible. What is the alternative? They have decided for the alternative and therefore we are not interfering. Matter went to the appellate tribunal. 79 colony or appellate tribunal said nothing doing. The resolution is proper. Then later went to the Honorable High Court. That person did not live there. And when it came to the Honorable High Court, court heard everything. They said 79A is not mandatory. Now the general body has been formed in proper model and the members have decided to go for redevelopment with 70% members consent and therefore we do not want to interfere. And they upheld both the decision. One more thing Honorable High Court said, the decision was to go for redevelopment with the consent of 70% members in writing. That should be ensured. The direction was given to the court. And last one remark was done. 158 members in the society, you are the only one active. किसी को कुछ पड़ी नहीं है. It is you who are active. Where are 157 members? They are not bothered. They are not coming. They are not interfering. So therefore, we think that society can go ahead with 70% members consent in writing. They had already got 90% members consent. So no 79 direction, no tendering, no PMC, nothing. So फिर process शुरू की. कहने का तात्पर्य ये है, it is possible.
Normal course में तो 51% ही लगता है.
हाँ, normally 51 लगता है, लेकिन उन्होंने resolution पास किया 70%.
50% right.
हाँ, उन्होंने 70% किया. हाँ,
ये तो बहुत अच्छा है.
बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन उनको 90% मिल गया था तब तक. Okay, वो भी 90% writing में था उनके पास. So feasibility report and role of PMC, there was a question. Yes, PMC is a group of professionals who will guide the societies like architects, structural engineer, civil engineer, chartered accountant, advocates. So it is a multidisciplinary firm which Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants Indian chartered accountants to do, consultants to do it. We have also taken some initiative in that, and in the name of Vikas Multinational Confederation, where we have already enrolled a lot of structural engineers, architects, engineers, because we thought going with the ICI guideline multidisciplinary is taking a lot of time, and therefore under the guidance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's initiative that has already been, and there are n number of initiatives have been done. So one should look into it and see that how one can do. And this is the latest, but 35 years back, when I started my practice, I was doing this. Of course, holding a certificate of practice and in the name of wine. Correct? So why was the managing director of that project management consultancy? But yes, this is one of the lucrative thing. If chartered accounting think that yes, one can look into it, explore this, nothing like it. So prepare a feasibility report, get the plans approved, guide. So in the feasibility report, what are the most 5 elements? First and foremost, you have to determine what is the carpet area available. From where you get the carpet area? Naturally from the development control and promotion regulation. DCPR बोलते हैं हमको, development control and promotion regulation. Different types of DCPR, मतलब regulations, you get different FSI. If it is a MANA layout, then 4 FSI. If it is a SRA, you get 4 FSI. If it is a shopping mall, you get 5 FSI plus 5 FSI. So depending on the the type of project that you are doing, So one can get it from DCPR, architect will guide you. Then determine the total project cost, including the profit of the developer, project interest, everything. Then determine how much carpet area is required. How you determine how much carpet area required to be sold in the market? Total project cost, including the builder's profit, divided by the rate prevailing in that area. Suppose 10 crore is the total cost of the project, 10,000 is the area prevailing area rate there. So divide 10 crore divided by 10,000, maybe 1,000 square feet you have to sell. So that is how you get how much area you should sell. And then balance is for the existing members. And then whatever is the balance area, suppose the existing members were having 10,000 square foot, now balance area available is 15,000 square feet. That is 15,000 divided by 10,000, then everybody will get 50% extra area. So that is how feasibility is being worked out. And one should know net plot area, permissible FSI, incentive FSI, and protection FSI, premium FSI, TDR utilization, ancillary FSI, development, redevelopment FSI. So many FSI benefits, special provisions for co-creating society, special provisions for self-redevelopment, FSI road, somebody goes for public road, public parking, then you get 4 FSI. So FSI adjustment for premium payment. So these are some of the tables available, like income tax, we have different sections giving you separate incentive. So in DCPR also we have certain provisions. One may look at all this 33, 31.1, 31.2, 31.3, all this fungible composite at par with the DCPR 35.4. So I'm not getting into detail or with this, one can look into it and learn. Prerequisite for self-development? Yes. See, I am running short of time and you need to pardon for me. And the next is, we have a prerequisite for redevelopment. One has to have the conveyance of the land and building. Without conveyance, one should not get into the redevelopment. If you are going for redevelopment without conveyance, I think there cannot be worse fool than that. Because many societies I have seen, without conveyance, they are going and appointing a developer, which is suicidal.
Inconvenience.
Either take a deal conveyance or a conveyance, which means one in the state. One has to go for self-development. I told you, because to reduce your exposure to the liability that the developer may create. All other benefits are already there. You will have control. Of course, there are challenges in the self-development. Even in the self-development, you can have 4 different systems. It is not that you have to go with the vanilla product. One is a departmental system where everything you do. Second, where you go with the barter system where 50%, suppose 10 crore is the total cost of the project. 5 crore is going to be approximately towards construction cost. So do the barter with the contractor, lock and key, and give him all specification, up to the plan, everything. So he will get it done and give it to you. So that can be the one. Then there can be a package deal also. And the last one is development manager. One can appoint a development manager. A renowned developer can be appointed as a development manager. He will charge you 10% or 12% fees. And based on that, he will complete the project in the name of society. So you will have money control with you and everything. Fundraising option, now Mumbai Bank, Maharashtra State Cooperative, both have come forward and they are giving. Now National Cooperative Development Corporation is also planning to give about 1,000 crore. Another 2,000 crore Maharashtra government is going to dedicate from the budget, which is already been approved in the housing policies. And even RBI has given a permission. Even the cooperative department has given a permission to all urban cooperative banks as well as commercial banks to lend to the housing societies going for self-development. Only thing, these societies are not approaching for self-development. The funds are now very much available. Only thing, you need to appoint a good PMC or a development manager and go for self-development. Government incentives, I said, around 400-page report has already been submitted by Praveen Darekar under his leadership, where you will get 10% extra area, you will get 10% less premium, and you will get the payment of government premium over the next 3 to 5 years without any interest. Don't have to pay the interest. And whatever loan you are availing on that 4% interest subsidy is also available. 1 window clearance. So many benefits are already there. One should take this benefit. Now comes advantage of self-development. I told you, you will get more area. I will promise you, if the builder is giving you 30%, when you go for self-development, come se come, at least 50% more than what developer is promising. If he has promised you 30% extra area, believe me, you will get 45%. Minimum 45%. Because 50% more than the builder is offering. Now you may ask why? Why you are saying this? The rule is, when a developer is coming, he is taking 50% profit and he is sharing 50% profit with you. This is a term rule because I have been working with so many developers and I have been guiding them. I know the way feasibilities we are doing. When we go for a self-development feasibility and when we go with the developer's feasibility, developer is expecting 30% profit out of the project. With the 3 years when he is investing, after taking out all interest, risk, administrative costs, everything, he needs 30% profit and 30% of the project cost comes to the society as an additional fee, including your corpus, rent, everything. So therefore, this is the thumb rule. If the builder is able to make what you are given 30% extra area, equivalent as a profit for him, 30%, why not you get at least 15% for you extra? Even if you think trial and error में कुछ भी करते तो 45% आपको मिलना ही है. And you are safeguarded with the challenge of exposure to the liability which, so advantages no depend on outside developer, litigations are less. Challenges in self-development, yes, there are various challenges like time, competence, inclination, getting consent among the members, the great difficulty. The government is also difficult. Ability to sell area. There was a question from somebody that during self-development, can I raise the fund without RERA registration from the existing member? Answer is yes. Can I raise the fund from other than the members in the form of loan, investment, deposit against the future sale of the flat? The answer is absolutely yes. You have to pass the resolution in the general body. Society is an independent body. You are saying against the future FSI that we are going to get 1,000 square foot, 2,000 square feet, we are going to use. You are not making as an allotment. You are taking as an investor and you are offering an interest of 8%, 9%, whatever. And later on you will say that if we are not able to pay, then we are going to convert that apartment, sorry, equivalent area of the area also will be given as a alternative plan. An investor agreement you can make and raise the money. Are you with me? Who had asked that question? Yeah. So it is possible. Don't worry. Second question came in to me after the redevelopment. Can I distribute the existing surplus, whether it's sinking fund, repair fund, general reserve, to the existing member? Answer is yes. There are two types of funds which are available in the society. One is general fund, which is coming from the surplus, 25% surplus you are keeping in the reserve out of your surplus. Those have to be divided equally among all the members. And there is sinking fund, repair fund, which is accumulated, and that can be distributed as per the area of the plan. Are you with me? Now, how it is possible? It is not the dividend that you are giving. It is not a distribution of profit. The society are not making profit. What you are distributing is whatever you have issued extra for an old building. The old building is not going to be there. Now the new building is constructed, and therefore, in the ratio in which you have raised the money, you can refund to that by passing the resolution. Yes, sir.
So if there are three societies which are going to, they have formed a federation, and this distribution which we are discussing right now, should be done before this federation is merged, or it can be done later on?
No, if you are doing a federation, your independent society still continues. So the distribution.
Not that with the three societies have jointly gone to a developer, and they are going to construct simple unit. Clustering.
हाँ, देखो आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? तीन अलग अलग सोसाइटी है, तीन अलग अलग बिल्डिंग है, तीन अलग अलग लेआउट है, प्लॉट है, आपका तीन कन्वेंस है. Now you are appointed a common developer. Common developer, by taking three different development agreement, is going ahead with one building.
Right.
And after the building is constructed, he will dissolve all the three societies and he will make one new society. Correct?
Right.
So that means now these societies are in existence.
As of now, yes.
Yes, they are in existence. Their funds should be continued to remain in the society. Till the building is not completed, you are not received the possession, you should not distribute the money. The reason is, कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है. वो बिल्डर आपको तकलीफ देगा तो कम से कम 10-15-20 लाख में आपका है, वो पैसा तो आप लिटिगेशन में यूज कर
So
सकते
that means the distribution, like
हैं. Has to happen only after OC.
the dissolution will take place only after the OC has been.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, it's advisable or it is mandatory?
It is. See, the next question came from him. What was his next question? I don't want to distribute because it is not mandatory. But I don't want to. The new members who are coming, if they are ready to contribute equivalent money to make the corpus. मान लो हमारा average 10 लोग हैं, 10 लाख है, तो हर एक को 1 लाख है. Now the new member who is coming, they should be gracious enough to put 1 lakh rupees. Suppose they don't put. I got 10 lakhs of mine for 10 members. Now another 10 members are coming. They are not putting any money to the corpus because he has rightly pointed out that registrar is giving an order that you are not supposed to pay anything because this type of things is not possible. Once you become a member, then we will look into it. Barabar? So if the new members are not ready to pay, then what will happen? Your 1 lakh gets 50,000. So therefore, every society decides, every society invariably take a written opinion also from me, which you also can give and charge fees. So what you do is, before you admit new members, distribute to the people, admit the new members, thereafter pass the resolution that first have so much to be used as a general corpus. And people do pay that corpus. So to have equity, first you have to distribute and then raise. अभी क्या होता है कि बहुत सारी सोसाइटी बोलती है,
Not distributed, they are not admitting. In spite of the.
I know, I am getting your point. In spite of the deputy registrar order, they are still not admitting you, which is not right. They have to admit, if they don't admit, their committee will be dismissed.
So practically what
Committee is
happens
dismissed,
now,
administrator is appointed.
Yes. But administrator will admit them.
so practically in the place of the old society, now the new towers has been
Correct.
constructed, right? And suppose the only 1/3 of the members are of the old society, while the 2/3 are the new one. Now new one will come, occupy, it will happen in the new course. So now if the old society members are saying, we have signed the development agreement, now everything is being like, in process and we know that it's a reputed developer, so there will not be any issue that the project will get stuck and all. So now finally, why don't you distribute our money to them?
देखो, you do not know. जितना भी सेफ्टी होगी, अहमदाबाद का फ्लाइट तो एक्सीडेंट हुआ कि नहीं? आप मुझे बताओ, you are neither astrologer nor we can predict anything. किसने सोचा था DHFL और DHFL ना DHFL Diwan Housing and Infrastructure Limited, a listed company, can go to the docks or they can get into such a trouble. 1 lakh crores is the Diwan Housing Finance lending portfolio. Who thought that one day it will get into color? Yes, sir. Luckily, your state bank took over. So therefore, who is good, who is not good, you cannot predict, and you cannot do that. Therefore, I am saying, nothing should be distributed.
Our society members.
मेंबर को बताना पड़ेगा. कोई भी मेंबर ऐसा नहीं होता है कि उनको समझ में नहीं आता. फिर भी उनको सुसाइड में करने को वो भी बोलते हैं, मेंबर बोलता है, फिर देखेंगे, करेंगे, जब बनेगा हम कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे. फिर देखो, आपको पैसा जो है दूसरे के हाथ में या सोसाइटी के हाथ में देखने को नहीं होता है, हमारा हाथ में चाहिए ताकि मैं क्या करूं, फॉरेन घूम के आऊं, स्पेंड करूं.
So technically where you can distribute it, when it is after the distribution, after the distribution, not before that.
This is my suggestion. Technically आप भी distribute करो, क्या करो? That is your own money.
But sir, what will be the manner of distributing this? In what manner can this?
There are two types of fund which is generated. One is a general reserve, and another is a sinking fund repair fund. Sinking fund repair fund is always contributed in terms of you distribute as per this calculate. General fund equal. That resolution you have to pass.
Sir, some members in the leader society, they are taking objection out of the 100 members. 30, 40 members are old members.
Okay, that's very good.
And some members have come newly after some period incentive. So why we should distribute the entire, who has joined recently last year only, why the society should do that?
वो मुझे मालूम नहीं, वो जो आप अलग से मिलो, उसका प्लीज दो। अभी क्या हो रहा है मालूम है? उनका पर्सनल सोसाइटी का मैटर लेके बात कर रहे।
वो कमिटी मेंबर है।
वो लग रहा है कि हमने जेबी तरह स्टेडियम को प्लीज भरा है, प्रोफेसर साहब से पूरा एडमिन ले लेते हो। नहीं ठीक है, we discuss outside.
Okay.
Or you can get my number is in the PPT and you can always call me.
Yes.
So don't worry about it. Right now, positive time because argument, discussion, housing should have both of them. Again, so stability registration, it can be done on 500 rupees per crore. Now impact of RERA on self-development. If it is a self-development, naturally, you are a promoter. Everything has to be done as per the builder, so you have to comply with everything of RERA. And even if the project is delayed, you have to pay the interest.
Sir, if the area extra is the 621.
Anything, even if you have got 500 square foot today in self-development with 750 rupees, the stamp duty is only 1,000.
So, but if you are buying extra area.
Extra area, naturally you have to pay. More than about 750 square foot, you are buying 100 square foot from your own society. On that, you have to pay additional stamp duty. Coming to the GST very simple, very simple. यदि आपको redevelopment में extra area मिलता है, or whatever the area you get in the redevelopment, existing 500, now you are getting 600 on 600 square feet. On the you have as per the present prevailing provisions, you have to pay current market value का 5%. If it is non-affordable, affordable to 1% GST has to be paid. The builders fully, not on the additional 100 square foot, 500 plus 100 because entire and the market value will be the development agreement के नजदीक जो बिल्डर ने ओपन मार्केट में जो फ्लैट बेचा है जिसका रेट है पर स्क्वायर फुट वो रेट अप्लाई होगा and you have to pay at the time of OC, at the time of receiving the portion you have to pay. Therefore, I always insist the society should put in a development agreement that the redevelopment, whatever the GST is payable, including on the rear portion, has to be paid by the developer. So at least make the contract very clear, so it helps. Then income tax, don't worry, income tax. One more thing on self-development, don't worry about the GST. Because you are preparing your own, there is a Kerala High Court division bench judgment is there. Of course, it is challenging the Supreme Court. Concept of mutuality is applicable. Member in the society is considered as one person, and therefore there cannot be further GST levied on the member. This has been challenged in the Kerala High Court, and the Kerala High Court said yes, it can be charged. Single judge said yes, and then when it went to the division bench, they said nothing because society and its member are one. They are not two different identities. And if you are considering as a two different identity and charging the GST, it is contrary to the constitution. The wording used by the Kerala High Court is like this. The purpose of GST is to charge the transaction between two different persons. And by way of a circular or by way of an act, you are coming out with and saying that you have done the amendment in the GST Act saying that in the case of EOP or a society and members are considered to deemed to be the two different identity and the GST will be levied. ऐसा डीमिंग प्रोविजन डाल के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने जो बोला कि दो अलग अलग इंडिविजुअल के ऊपर सर्विस होता है तब जीएसटी लगेगा, बट आपने क्या किया, ये दोनों एक ही माना जाएगा करके डीमिंग प्रोविजन लाके अगेंस्ट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन यू आर ट्राइंग टू राइट levy the GST on the members of the society. They said nothing. So of course this is now in this one. If they want to really charge GST, then they have to change the constitution. So if they change the constitution, I don't think they can charge the GST. And income tax also, under the self-redevelopment, you can, lot of income tax benefits are also there. So concept of mutuality can be made applicable. So redevelopment and income tax shareholder impact, there are various things, around 40 slides are there. I'm not going to discuss on this now.
Sir, can you go to previous slide?
Yeah.
Income tax. Income tax.
Yeah. Bolo?
Sir, two queries. Compensation rate.
क्या हुआ?
Income tax meant the hardship compensation rent which the individual flat owners receive. So if they are not paying rent anywhere else, so will that be taxable?
No, it's not taxable because you have also said judgment is there. I've given a case law. So whether any income in the form of shipping charges, corpus, rent, whether you are spending or not spending, that will not be levied for tax.
And one more thing, the free area which we receive, that is not taxable. But do we need to declare the transaction in ITR under section 54?
Yeah, you have to declare as a capital receipt.
Okay, sir, thank you.
So on right, many developers are deducting to BDS.
Yeah, just take the mic. I'll just go to the questions now. First is word fund distribution. Yes, possible. Extra amount which you are receiving, yes, you can distribute. Self-redevelopment initial fund you can raise by way of, I already told you, by way of, entry into investors agreement from other than the members also. How new members, extra funds can be obtained, if at all. See, many times what we do in the development agreement also we write that the new members will contribute 1 lakh rupees and that will be collected by the developer at the time of adding of the position and the developer will give to the society. If that particular provisions are there in the DA, then builder cannot do anything. He has to collect and pay to the society. We put this type of clauses in the development agreement. Otherwise, if you are wanting to collect extra money from the new member, he will not pay. Because now he has got the position, you are staying there, everything. And even if you say that we have got 10 members, 10 lakhs is in the corpus, हमको ये काम पे extra दे दो, he will not be ready. So in such case, it's better to distribute and then collect it from everybody, bill it everybody, and then he will have to pay. Repair and sinking fund. What was the question? Repair and sinking fund purchases. Yes, they will have to pay as per the square foot. Yeah. What was the question? Anybody else? Yeah. We'll go further. Contribution extra funds. Your question. You cannot insist. And of course, developers are taking 2 years maintenance in advance. And maybe if they have completed 1 year, remaining 1 year, they will give it to the society. Of course, you can ask for the accounts. In the case of a layout, whether conveyance of 1 building is possible, the answer is yes. If there are 10 buildings in a layout, you have only 1 society, you also get a deed conveyance, proportionate conveyance you will get. Your name will appear in the property card and then you can go for redevelopment without the consent of other remaining 9 societies. So you can do FX society, yes, you can form the FX society and also get the conveyance in the name of FX society. There's no problem. The role of PFC is to help you to assess the viability, prepare a feasibility report, prepare a tender document, call the developers, analyze, and then monitor the project, look at the approval, and help you in all the process. Self-redevelopment, MANA, freehold, all these different types of land, different terms and conditions are applicable. It will be too short time for me to explain everything, but only thing I will say, if it is a freehold, not only, but if it is a leasehold, NOC from the owner is a must. Without NOC from the owner, it is not possible.
For tenants also there is separate.
For a tenanted building also there is a separate provision. MANA also there is a separate provision. What is the owner members relationship? What is the question?
Who is the mayor?
Owner is the owner or member?
Society is the owner of land and building.
Okay. This I will just explain you here. There are different types of development model like society developer, stakeholder and key receipts. These are some of the receipts. And these are the impacts. Society capital gains on development rights, land building. Yes, it has been held. 50C If there is only land and building transfer, then only 50C is applicable. For transfer of development right, there cannot be 50C. Members capital gain on exchange, yes, 54 is applicable. Now the question came whether it should do when the PAAA is done or at the time of possession. Answer is, it is at the time of possession. Old flat, you are exchanging for new flat at the time of possession. Now the question again arises, suppose I have done a PAAA in the year 2021. After 2 years of having PAAA, OC has not come. Okay, I am selling after 2.5 years. I am selling after 2.5 years. Now whether the long-term capital gain or short-term capital gain? It is a long-term capital gain because PAAA you have got a right to get. So there is a right of immovable property. So that you are selling after 2.5 years. But suppose after 3 years you are getting the position of that premises, and now the OC has come. Now you want to sell it within 1 year. Will it be long term or short term? The answer is short term because now it has got converted into property, and now you will have to wait for 2 years. If you don't wait for 2 years, then it will be converted into short term gain. And the cost. Cost will be the purchase cost you will have to replace. That is 2021 valuation, and at the time of possession you will take current market value as per the 50D. That is a stamp duty value as on the date of receipt of the consideration. That is your market value of the property. जिस दिन पोजीशन का उसका वैल्यू करो. Of course that is a reinvestment. और जो आपने पहला लिया था उसको लेस करो. तो difference is capital gain. That is you are just putting a book entry. We have to take fair market value or the fair market value as per the stamp duty. As per stamp duty. 10 crore को ऊपर जाता है, you know, above 10 crore there is a capital gain in South Mumbai and all. So then that will be tax. Okay.
Sir, when we sell this redeveloped flat in future, तो cost हमारा previous house का
नहीं, cost as on the date of previous first. So you will have to book in the books of account. Very important. अभी तक जो है TDR, कॉर्पस, नए फ्लैट और हाउसिंग सोसाइटी को इनकम टैक्स नहीं लगता. But from effective from 1st April 2024, section 55(2)(a) has been amended, and because of this amendment, now possibly the cost of acquisition for TDR everything is taken 0. And now it may be liable for income tax in the hands of the society. Till now, redevelopment proceeds were never and ever considered as a capital gain in the hands of the society, but possibly this litigation is going to be there. So one has to look into it. TDS, as far as 194(1)(c) is concerned, 10% TDS people are levying, which is not a healthy practice, but builders are charging. And 194(i)(a) is not applicable unless you will buy property more than 50 lakhs. So there are so many things which I have said. I am not getting into all this. Please go through a lot of judgments I have given, and so minutely it has been discussed. Though income tax is not my subject, last 1 week I am happy and thankful to you, Kailash bhai. Otherwise मैं income tax के बारे में स्टडी नहीं करता. इन्होंने मेरा पूरा एक हफ्ता इतना नवनाथ तो हर दिन पीछे था कि पीपीटी दो मतलब पीपीटी बन रहा है. आप एक ही नहीं करेंगे केवल रात को 1 बजे तक बैठा, सुबह 6 बजे तक वापस लेने बैठा. तो ये पूरा पीपीटी इतना रिसर्च करके बना है. तो आई थिंक यू शुड go through this PPT, which will definitely give you some insights, and I will answer your question. So this question will be little easier for you. Okay. But I think you can get into this yourself. So thank you very much. Some of the questions which are still remaining, I will try to answer. Migration किसका सवाल था? Yes, migration अभी ऑटोमेटिक मतलब आपको नया लॉगिन पासवर्ड करना है और उधर एक बटन है migrate the old data to new, immediately वो migrate होगा. So don't have to worry. And secondly, so you 2 घंटे का total migration के ऊपर वीडियो है. We have a RERA study circle of WRC. those who want to listen to that migration video, they are completely RERA का नया registration of project, extension of the project, ये पूरा का पूरा study circle में 2 घंटे का वीडियो बनाया है, recorded है, VCR. So you can just ask me. I'll give it to the convener. If you think it fit, he will put it. Otherwise, you can ask me. I'll give you that video. It is available. And then whether returns. What was the question? Whether to show in the income tax return, the answer is yes. Whenever you are getting new flat, you have to show it in the income tax return. TDS हमने discuss किया है. Tenanted shop. If you are getting a tenanted shop, I think that was one of your personal question. I'll try to answer you individually. Thank you very much. I know I have run it very fast, but then time is a constraint.
Rental income is not chargeable.
Rental income is not chargeable.
Is there any case law?
Yeah, case law is there. Furniture or I already shared it with the people. One I think आप इतना तो क्या 2 मिनट 2 मिनट या 2 मिनट रुके या घर में खाना गरम गरम मिले. Thank you.
It is a really big pleasure to give a vote of thanks to our authority of this subject. So, on behalf of JB Naval Study Circle, I propose a vote of I propose a vote of thanks to is a really when I am meeting I have the participation regarding so basically employment for housing society. Thank you. Thank you.